excited to have our popcorn kickoff tonight. Thanks for being on the call. My name is McKay Allen. I serve as popcorn chair for Crossroads of the West Council and been doing this for many years. So I'm really excited to work with each of you and continue selling popcorn with all of you. Here with me is
Jake Bangeter.
Jake. What's your role?
Oh, I am the advisor for popcorn along with Jason Eborn. Jason, are you able to chime in a second?
I know we got Jason on the call. There we go. Unmute yourself, Jason. It ain't working. That's okay. We'll give Jason a chance at the end of the call. Jason's on the call as well. He's our popcorn advisor on the professional staff as well. We're grateful for both Jake and Jason and their support and all of our district executives. The role of our district executives is to really help you and support you along your popcorn sales this year. So we're excited for that. I want you to just throw in the chat as we go along any questions you might have. But to kick things off, I'd love to just hear why you're selling popcorn this year. What's your interest? Is it to pay for camp? Is it to help your scouts succeed? Is it to help your scouts have dues? What's your reason and why for selling popcorn this year as a unit? Love to read some of those and hear why you're selling popcorn. Funds for scout camp, Andrea. I love it. That is probably the most important thing for all of us, right? Having enough funds to go to camp so we can make that a meaningful and impactful week. Pay for camp from Steven. Sales for the Amazon gift cards. I love that. My kid does the same. He two of them now. They're all pumped about that. Linda, scout dues and uniforms. Uniforms cost money, and it's nice to have an option to pay for that for our families. I think that is so meaningful and impactful. Also to fund the troop, so scouts don't have to pay dues. That's a great reason, an important reason. If we can earn our scouting adventure, it makes it so much less stressful on families. Rent for a place to meet. Shelly, isn't that so true? We need places to meet, and that's an important thing for all of us. Funds for our programs, yearly dues, scout camp, registration. Yeah, we have registration every year that hits each of us. That's important. My son wants to go to Legoland. Dakota, my son too. We're pumped about Legoland this year. We're going to talk more about that. If you can't tell, our theme is Legos. We all love Legos. Maybe we hate them as parents, but we love them. Our kids love them. And we're going to have a lot of fun things. Thanks for sharing. As you go through tonight, please ask questions in the chat. We will open it up for a Q&A at the very end of the meeting. And Andrea, I hear you. My toes totally hate Legos. Let's, on that note, move forward here with our next slide. Tonight, we're going to talk a lot about the things that are happening with the sale this year. Some dates, some timelines, some new things, some new options. So Jake, go ahead and switch screens there. There we go. Want to recap 2023 sales. We sold a grand total of 492,575. Give yourselves a round of applause. That is pretty remarkable. That is a new record for our council. We're so excited to be close to 500,000. And this year, let's exceed 500,000. That is really exciting. We had 20 units that sold over $10,000 and 34 youth or scouts that sold over $2,500 in popcorn. And our winning district of 2023, Oker Mountain District, sold over $100,000 worth of popcorn. That's pretty remarkable. Out of 9 districts, they sold, what is that? 20% of the popcorn sales from the Oker Mountain District. Pretty great. And then 158,000 or 32% of our sale was done by 34 scouts. So that's pretty incredible as well. We had 34 scouts that led the way. Out of how many scouts sold last year, would you say 500 or so? About 500 scouts, so pretty remarkable. All right, continuing our sales of 2023, we had an increase from 2022 to 2023 of 19%, about $80,000 increase. And then if we look at our highest year prior to last year, that was in 2019, just before COVID. Our scouts sold 459,000, and we grew that last year, which is pretty remarkable. We also, in 2019, we had 76 units sell and an average of $6,048 per unit. In 2022, we had 66 units sell at an average of $6,256. And last year, we only had 56 units selling, but the average was $8,796. Huge round of applause and congratulations to all of you for your efforts. These are remarkable figures. Our units are benefiting from a great popcorn sale. So keep it up. Let's keep that momentum going into 2024. We're going to talk about how to do that next. Also want to highlight our top selling units. Jake, you want to take this one?
Yeah, no problem. So Ochre Mountain, of course, had 100,000 in sales. One of their units sold almost $48,000 in popcorn. 141 ranked unit nationally, which is pretty high up on the list. We have some rivals for that this year. How many scouts you might get selling in your neck of the woods, but we have 20 units, as you see there on the board, that hit 10,000 or higher, which allows for some good incentives. We'll talk about those later on the unit incentive side.
We'd love to see a unit crack that top 100. We're close, 141st. I know that doesn't sound close. It actually is very close for how many units sell across the country. We had some scouts that broke into the top 100 this last year, as I recall. 3 scouts, 2 scouts, two scouts broke into the top 100 in individual sales. So we're making some noise in Crossroads of the West. Let's keep it going. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next slide here. So powered by popcorn. I just want to walk us through this slide real quick. Our scouts become decision makers. They learn money management. They become goal setters, become future entrepreneurs. They learn people skills. Those are a lot of incredible skills, talents, abilities that your scouts are learning as kindergartners, as 8th graders, as seniors in high school, things that will carry on for the rest of their life and benefit them as they go into the workforce and as they go off to college and what they do every day in school. There's a lot of benefits to scouts, as you can see there. There's a lot of things our scouts learn as well. They learn how to deal with rejection, handle rejection. Andrea, well said. It's one of the hardest things is to learn how to deal with rejection. And as our scouts learn that in a safe way, in a manner that's safe, God, it's pretty incredible. So we're so grateful for the popcorn sale. At least I am for my scouts, because they learn these skills at a young age and they use them every day. Let's go ahead and look at our next slide. Let's go ahead and listen to this video. Sorry, I forgot.
In addition to paying for a year of scouting, selling popcorn with Trails End has taught our family lots of things, including hard work pays off, self-confidence, how to deal with rejection and excuses, how to speak to the public,
earning rewards for my hard work,
managing money, and setting and achieving goals. Selling popcorn each fall has created countless fun memories together. We hope your family has the same experience.
Doodly-doo.
Awesome. There's a lot of great videos we're going to watch tonight. Trails End has done a great job at doing these little snippets, less than a minute, of videos that you can utilize for your unit kickoff. Send out to your scouts and parents that are selling popcorn in a little text message or group message. Great way to engage with your families that are selling. He said a key word in there of family, right? This is an important aspect of family. And I get every situation's a little different. We might have scouts that need our support as leaders. But ultimately, if we can drive this back to the family, that'll increase the success of your sale as well. All right, prepare, right? We all know what being prepared is. It's an important aspect of scouting. We want to talk about the importance of preparing for this popcorn sale. Okay, so storefront prep, here we go.
The key to a successful storefront is being prepared. First, sign up for shifts in the Trails End app. Then, on the day of the shift, we bring enough popcorn to sell 500 per hour, a fully charged phone with the Trails End app, and a Bluetooth Square reader. Also, we bring a 6-foot table, banner, and a cash box with small bills to make change. When we arrive, I set the table near the foot traffic while my scout talks to the customers. Here's a few tips. Scouts should use the restroom before the shifts. Keep the area tidy and store boxes behind the banner. Place the products highest to lowest and never put prices on the table. Happy selling!
Some simple but powerful tips in that video. I did forget to mention Jason is monitoring our chat tonight. So Jason, if there are questions or things that need to be brought up, feel free to chime in so we can address those as we go along tonight. Thanks for doing that. Go ahead,
One
Jay.
quick thing, on that video, you saw a banner that he put up. We do have some banners now. So if your unit would like one, we will have our information at the end of this, but you can go ahead and let us know if you would like us to get you a banner. We'll make sure those are ready for you at the time of the distribution of the popcorn, which would be the first week of September. So go ahead and make a request for those and we'll get those out to you.
What's the best way to request those? Just
Yeah, email or text would be great
Okay.
to Jacob Baker.
Okay, great. And our information is all on the popcorn webpage. And we'll also share that at the end of the table as well. Why don't we put the prices on the table? That's a great question. You definitely can, and I've seen units that have done that. I think the driving factor here is when people see a price, sometimes they check themselves out of participating in the popcorn sale, right? We're going to talk about the prices, and some of the items range up to $25, $30. I think 25 actually in our case this year. And so some people look at that and just say, oh, I don't want to participate. Where really, if they engage with the scout and the scout engages with them, we're building a relationship. And people want to support a relationship that they've built and depended on. And so that's why we want to sell the great things our scouts are doing and not the product. And we're going to talk more about that. And so you can have the price on there, but it really is a best practice to avoid putting the price on there. And it lets your scout do the salesmanship, because the scout then will talk about the pricing. They'll talk about the cost with the customers, which is also important. Awesome. Great question. Thanks for asking that. Ideal year of scouting. We've talked about this in the past, but here's how it works, right? We plan our program. Hopefully our units are doing that at the start or well before the start of each calendar year, school year, excuse me. Plan your program. What's your budget look like? Get everything on the calendar so your activities are in place. You kind of know what it costs. What are your goals? And then you calculate the unit goal, divide it by the budget of popcorn commissions, and that should give you, and then divide the unit goal by number of scouts to get to that scout goal, of how much each scout needs to sell in order to earn enough money from popcorn sales for your scouting adventure. We have a great tool on our website, an ideal year of scouting spreadsheet that can help walk you through this. Also, your district executive can do the same in helping you do this. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the next slide here. So we have the Trails In Leader Portal. This is your one-stop shop for sale management. Guys, this is an incredible feature. You order your popcorn on here. You manage your storefront sales, your roster, your scouts participating. You can shuffle inventory from scout to the unit, from unit to the location being sold. It's really simple and user-friendly to follow. If you run into problems, there's a lot of resources on YouTube, on Trails In YouTube page, but ask us. We're here to help and want to make sure you feel comfortable and successful in doing this. So please take some time to do your homework so you're not stressed in the thick of sales on sale day. Get familiar with this ahead of time. But it's real-time reporting of sales. That's my personal favorite feature as a unit leader. I go out, get the popcorn set up for my scouts and parents, and then they sell. They all show up on their shifts, and I just watch it go up throughout the day, and it's pretty fun to see that happen. And as we do that, it's a great feature for you as a unit leader to know, how is our sale going? What's going wrong or what's going well that we need to replicate or not do in future weeks? So a lot of good features.
McKay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Jason.
Okay, so we had Shelly Smith from Pack 820 just wrote that she had watched a young scout and his dad sell scouting, quote unquote. That's great. One thing I'd like to remind everybody is that not only are we selling popcorn to fund these scouts' individual and unit scouting experiences, but this is a great opportunity to remind people that scouting is still here and still vibrant.
So true. I'd encourage you to have flyers about your unit available, not because you're going to distribute them to everyone that comes to your table, but you're going to have people that ask about your scout unit. They might have a grandchild or a kid that they're interested in participating. And so just having that information in an easy spot for them to access is a great feature. We want to sell scouting. Thanks, Jason. Okay, we have a lot of great leader training. Like reference, there's videos on the Leader Portal training page. That's probably the best place to find all of these trainings is on your leader portal training page. Through Q&A webinar, if you scan this QR code, by the way, this video will be posted on our website so you can reference it later, and on our YouTube channel and this PowerPoint as well. And then sales resources from leader's guide to your scout and parent guide and so on. So we want to make sure you're comfortable, you feel ready. It does take some commitment on your side to make sure you're ready. It will take time, but it's easy to access all this information on your phone, maybe 15 to 20 minutes before bed each night. Doing that a few times, you'll feel very comfortable and ready to go.
And this is my first year personally selling with my own kids, so I'm going to learn about the app this year. I know I've relied on McKay and Brian from our office here to help me to understand how it works. So I'm taking the webinar tomorrow at 4 o'clock actually to get more situated with my own kids and their sales.
All of us need to take some time to learn, and you'll feel way more comfortable and confident as you go into this sale.
Hey, McKay, we had another question. If they have a leader account already from an earlier or a previous unit, do you know how they can change that account to their new unit?
Great question. Jared Shepard, are you by chance on the call tonight? I know he was hoping to make it.
Hey, how are you, McKay?
Hey, Jared, I should have introduced Jared.
Okay?
Hey, Jared's our popcorn rep right here in Utah, but oversees, half of the US. So Jared, if you don't mind taking this away to help us out.
You could, probably the easiest thing is just to send an email to Jake, and Jake can just move your account right over to the new unit. Let him know what unit that you're want to be a part of. And that way they can save your username, and you don't have to get a new username. He just goes in and associates it with another unit. So I just sent an email to Jake and say, hey, I was part of the troop, and now I'm part of this other unit, the pack over here, or whatever the situation is, and they'll move you. I will say on scouts, of course, you know what, McKay's going to get to it. Scouts can actually, just so FYI, scouts can actually change themselves. There's a feature in the app for them to go in and say, hey, I was part of the pack, now I'm part of the troop. They can change themselves. Unit leaders, they got to reach out to the council and let them move around.
Okay.
So, okay.
Thanks, Jared. And Jared, feel free to chime in as the night goes along.
We're
grateful for your knowledge here and need that. So
Hey.
thank you.
Thanks, McKay. Good to see you.
Hey, the Trails End app, guys, if you're not familiar with this, please become familiar with this. You'll want all of your scouts and parents to download this app onto your mobile device. This is what your scouts are going to use for their popcorn sale. And it makes all the difference. You want to make sure it's on the scout's device, the parent's device, whoever's device we're using here. And it's real simple, slick, easy to use, and it's tailored directly to your scout. So you can see it here. It shows my 2 scouts here, and we'll be adding a 3rd one here next year. So we're excited for that, and it makes a real big difference. But the app saves time managing your sale. It makes it easy for processing credit cards. By the way, with credit cards, all the fees are paid for by Trails End. We're really grateful for that, as that does add up in cost, and Trails End is covering that cost for all of us, and we're so grateful for that. It tracks real-time sales. It accepts both cash and card, and then you schedule Scout storefront sales through that. So on the leader side, you set up when you're selling the popcorn. Hopefully you saw our unit leader training video on that just a few weeks ago on how to set up your storefront sale. But you'll set it up as a unit leader, and then the scouts can go in and reserve their dates through the app. Also, this is available in Apple and Google Play Store. So make sure you look for that, and it's a great way to do all your sales. So please do everything through the app.
And I will say real quick here, McKay, we've totally revamped the scout creation of their account. So I don't know, Jake, if you go back one, just real quick, I want to point out that if you have new scouts that are getting registered, when you go into the leader portal, you'll have a unit code, and you can give your families, those families that don't have an account yet for their scout, you give them that code, and when they go in and download the app and click create an account, they'll be able to put in their information and then put in that code, and it'll sync them up to your unit without them having to do a thing, and it really speeds up that process. So anyways, a new little feature new in 2024 is that little unit code that'll help your scouts. Again, if all your scouts that have participated in the past that have a username, they're good to go. That doesn't change, but these would be for new scouts that are creating their accounts for the first time.
Great.
So thanks, McKay.
You'll notice Trails End has made it easier every year. So man, as you're going throughout the sale this year, if there's features that you see or notice, share them with me and Jake, and we'll do our best to get that information to Trails End. They do a great job at making sure this is good for our units and our scouts for the sale. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look here. The biggest thing on your sales, your scouts earn points, and this is how they get recognition, rewards, prizes, whatever you want to call it. So any transaction that's done with a credit or debit card or online sales, they get 1.25 points. Think of it like a basketball game here. You're just adding up your points and making a big score. Per dollar sold, they'll get 1.25 points. If it's cash, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So every dollar sold of popcorn is 1 point. And then we also have a new parent pay now feature. So what this means is that at the end of the sale, the scout, let's say they did $300 in card sales and $200 in cash sale. And what can happen at the end of the sale? The parent they'll get a little prompt on the app. They'll make the transaction of $200 in cash sale. And then they take that cash and deposit it in their personal bank account or have cash on hand. It makes it so much safer for everyone. And it's safe. No one's stealing cash. But what this allows is for the unit to have all the transactions be done via card. And here's the bonus on that. When the parent does that, your scout now collects 1.25 points for every dollar sold rather than the $1. So hopefully that makes sense. It's a learning process this year as it's a new feature, but this is a great feature and really a safety feature. We don't want our leaders to have hundreds of thousands of dollars of cash on hand as they get to and from the bank. This is safety for everyone, and we ensure that everyone has the ability to benefit from this.
As an added bonus, the units that have enough credit card sales, which you could then convert cash to credit card sales, you won't owe the council anything. In fact, the council will owe you. So that helps out at the end as well.
I would encourage everyone to utilize this feature. Might take a minute to figure it out. And here's some key factors we'll talk about here in a little bit, but parents have about 30 minutes, I believe, exactly after the time their sale ends to do this. If they don't get it done on time, then the leader can do it by the end of the next business day, I believe it is, or somewhere close to that. So something we'll learn together this year, but hopefully it improves as the weeks goes along.
So we just had a question if they can do that with Venmo as well.
That's a great question. Jared, do you have any thought on there?
We are not synced up in with Venmo as it
Okay.
being a payment method this year. We hope to have it next year. But right now, if you wanted to do it as Venmo, or a family wanted to do it as Venmo, they would have to basically record that as a cash sale.
Okay.
And then they could convert that over to a credit card or what have you. But anyways, you'd have to do it with a cash sale.
Yeah, I think Andrea said it best. Venmo's a little bit sticky, and so I would avoid it personally, because then you're having to withdraw cash or make a payment in behalf of someone else after they paid you. I would just avoid it and use cash and card and not worry about the Venmo option. Hopefully in future years, that'll be an option on the Trails End app. Also, in addition to what your scouts earn from popcorn sales through Trails End, we as a council feel it's important that we have some incentives for our scouts. And so a couple of things I want to start on the left-hand side of the screen. You'll see there's our six items available to sell this year. And we have that cool Lego Crossroads of the West pocket flap patch. If your scout sells all the amounts in green, quantities in green for each item, so 3 of the popping corn, 6 of the kettle corn, and so on, they'll earn this patch. And it's a really fun patch. Or equivalent dollar amount. Doesn't have to be those exact numbers, just the equivalent dollar amount. That gives it a frame of mind of how much should be sold, hopefully. If your scout sells all the items in red, then your scout will attend the big spin party. And Jake, do they want to miss the big spin party?
Absolutely not.
No way. You want to be there for the big spin party. I mean, it is Christmas on steroids for your scouts. It's a lot of fun. The scouts leave so excited and pumped for the next year's sales. Essentially, we have a spin wheel and they spin for their prize. And for your dollar amounts earned throughout the campaign, you earn more spins at the spin wheel. So want to look at that over here on the right-hand side. you'll see that there's a middle row of lighted Las Vegas looking features. $2,500 gets you one spin at the spin wheel for our big spin party. $5,000 sold for a scout, 2 spins at the wheel. $7,500, you get 3 spins at the wheel and a day at Lagoon, which is awesome. And that's for 2 people, as I recall, the scout and a guest adult. $10,000 sold, you get 4 spins at the wheel, and you get, remind me on this one, Jake, 2 Legoland passes. Is that right?
Yes.
2 Legoland
And then some
passes,
travel stuff.
and included with travel on that, right?
Yep.
So gas cards, plane tickets, whatever it is in your way of traveling there. If you get $12,500, you get 5 spins at the wheel, and then you get more in addition for passes, for Legoland, gas, airline cards, hotel gift certificate, and more. We want to send as many scouts as possible to Legoland this year. Let's go flood Legoland with our scouts. And then as a unit, you also benefit from your unit sales. You can earn a movie night for your unit. You can earn a pool party or a combination of movie night and pool party. Let's say you live in an area where it's, well, we don't want to go to the movies. We don't have great access to a movie theater. Do something of equivalent dollar amount. Work with Jake, Jason, me, and we'll make sure your scouts have a great time and enjoy an awesome party. Okay, here's some pictures from our big spin party in years past. Like I said, you don't want to miss this. Our big spin party will be held on January 11th, 2025. All sales need to be concluded by December 31st, 2024. That's what we'll be taking this into consideration. Food, fun, spin at the wheel, the whole family comes. It's awesome. Jake, you want to talk about Heroes and Helper?
Yeah, but real quick, to end that, we do have a top 50 sellers club. So last year, the last couple of years, we've done a top 25. Last year, we had 34 kids qualify. So we talked about it at the big spin party. We want to get that number to 50. So we need your help to incentivize more kids to get to this number. I think it would be super awesome to really fill Camp Tracy's Lodge with kids and with fun. So our goal is to get to 50, but to qualify, you do got to get to 2,500 in sales through the app. So just keep that in mind, and we hope to see that place packed. The Heroes and Helpers, this year we're going to do a patch. We got this idea from the Las Vegas Area Council, who does this extremely well. They have, I mean, we're talking like $100,000 in Heroes and Helpers that they have. And part of what they do is incentivize with a council shoulder strip that you see here. And each kid in your unit that gets the 200 in Heroes and Helpers will get one. And for every $1,000 in a unit that is collected, leader or parent, in however you determine that, gets a patch as well. So just trying something different. Heroes and Helpers donations are great because they give their scouts all the points that adds towards spin party, adds towards their Amazon gift cards, but they also help our Heroes and Helpers because with our extra inventory that we get at the end of the sale.
Yeah. So this is a great benefit to all of us when we do Heroes and Helpers. Your scouts get more points to earn rewards, recognition. They get this awesome patch. And guys, this is a really cool patch that I think is pretty awesome. We want to give back to our community is the other reality too. This is a great option for us to recognize our local school teachers, our first responders, whoever it is you as a unit want to support and give back to. And I invite you to set a goal as a unit of how much you want to do in Heroes and Helpers and pick an organization, a group, whoever it might be that you can go and support. As a council, we'll give you the popcorn to go personally take it. One of the most rewarding feelings is taking some popcorn to our school teachers and saying, thanks for what you do. We really appreciate you. Our first responders, whoever it is. So make a goal as a pack, as a troop on how you want to support this effort in Heroes and Helpers and make it a fun thing. Be engaged as a unit. It's easy to pocket that cash, but we want to give back as we earn money for our scouting adventure. Okay. All right, storefront settings and reservations. The best and most fair and highest selling is split is one scout and their parent. Guys, you'll get the most bang for your buck if you have one scout at each shift. Please don't do any more than 2 scouts per shift for a storefront. That'll ensure your scouts have the most opportunity to sell popcorn, receive the most value on their time for popcorn sales, And if the more scouts that are there, the worse it becomes, quite frankly. Your presentation is off. Our scouts get a little rambunctious. We want to do no more than 2 scouts at every storefront sale per shift. Here's some great features or things to ensure your default settings before reserving. Set your split method as a unit. You want to ensure that's set up beforehand on the back end of your leader portal. Set up the 1 scout and their parent as the split, and then scouts credited for each cell recorded. And then we also have the safest, and scout cells won't go like other splits. So this is the most safe method and important. Scouts, when they do this, sell $244 and more than other splits. So this is really value that we're talking for our time. And units raise $50 more per hour per scout. So it's an important thing. And then best practice is 2-hour shifts. It lets scouts get in a rhythm. I've seen 1-hour shifts. It doesn't work very well. Sometimes it takes scouts a minute to get comfortable and to remember. My first sale every year with my boys, it takes them a little bit of time to get comfortable, and then week 2, they're in a rhythm. But that first shift takes some time. So 2 hours. If you have younger Cub Scouts, maybe it's 1.5 hours, but really 2 hours makes a lot of sense. Also, reservations. Hopefully, you've all seen this feature on how to reserve your storefront sales. Trails End has done a great job at establishing when we can do storefront sales with partners like Harmon's, Smith's, Cabela's, Lowe's, Home Depot, a lot of great stores that are supporting our sale this year. You go in through your leader portal, store reservations, click the dates you want it and the times, and guess what? That is your unit's storefront time. And the great thing about this is it will now avoid confusion of units conflicting at the same store at the same time. It is you and only you that has that store for your scouts. Pretty great. So if you haven't reserved storefronts, go do it, please. All right, then the actionable of going out and selling. We've done our prep work. Now let's go and sell the popcorn. Get your storefront set up. Your scouts can set up their online sell option. I have family across the country. Guess what? My scouts send out their little link to lots of family across the country, from Alaska to Missouri and so on. And that's a great way for your scout to sell popcorn. And then wagon sales, doing door to door. So really that's your 3 methods of sales: storefront, online, and wagon. Looks like we had a question come through on the chat here.
Let's see. Asking if they need to contact the stores themselves after reserving on the website.
Great question. So you do not actually need to do that. So the way Trails End has helped us out this year is establish that partnership in advance. So there's nothing to confirm, but we want to ensure we do this the right way. So there is times where you may want to touch base with the store manager when you arrive, or even before, to say, hey, where would you like us to set up? We're scheduled to sell on this date. Typically day of, you're welcome to do that, and that's probably just fine. If you're there 30 minutes early, get set up in the right place that they want you. But there's no need to confirm the reservation with the store.
McKay, let me just add real quick. So every once you reserve that store, everything McKay said is true. Typically you go into your once you reserve that store, you can go in, and all of our team's documentation that we have, the approval letter or the manager, all that stuff is attached to that reservation that you as a leader or even your parents can pull up on demand at any time, so that they, if they get there and somebody questions, oh, are you guys sure you're supposed to be here? That parent or even that leader can pull up the documentation that we have that shows that, yes, we do have the approval. Here it is. So all that's right at your fingertips in the leader portal, which McKay talked about earlier, is also mobile friendly. It's not an app, but it can be accessed through Safari or Chrome or whatever on your mobile device. It's mobile friendly.
Great. Thanks, Jared, for sharing that. And that's an important feature. Rarely will you get questioned, but if you do, you can walk them through the steps, right? Sometimes it might be an assistant manager, someone saying, hey, I didn't see this on the calendar. But really, Trails End has set us up for success to ensure that we don't have any issues. I actually spoke with several stores at the end of June about some storefront sales, knowing this was happening, and every manager just said, yeah, we've got it through corporate and Trails End, it sounds like, so we're not touching a thing. And so pretty awesome that this has happened. Okay, we got a video coming up here.
Scout's goal is to get as many customers to the table as possible. To do your best, wear your uniform, stand in front of the table, smile and walk up to every person. Look the customer in the eye and give your pitch with confidence. Guide them to the table to pick their products. It helps to memorize the prices. Let your parents handle the money so you can get more customers. And have fun. Those will happen and that's okay. Don't give up. People want to support scouting in your adventures. You just have to ask for their support.
Hey, that scout said it really well. And,
Scouts.
very true. One thing I often do with my scouts is we will practice at least 3 or 4 times in the evening before bed of them practicing their pitch. They do it to me, they do it to their younger siblings, to my wife, and they practice their pitch to us. And we'll do that every night before bed. That way, when they get to that storefront, they're only nervous for the first couple. And then after that, they say, you know, I've done this before. Another great way to do this is in front of fellow scouts. So if as a den or as a pack, you want your scouts to practice their pitch in front of their peers, that gets almost all the jitters out as they've practiced and feel comfortable with that. All right, we're gonna watch a parent roll video.
Parents have a big role in supporting their scout at storefronts, so please, encourage your scout to keep asking. No's happen, and that's okay. Handle table and product setup. Stand and thank every person. Share what your scout will get with the consumer support. Enter orders so your scout can get more customers. Submit all donations in the app. Here's a tip. Use Parent Pay Now, keep the cash, and maximize rewards. Support your scout with a can-do attitude and have fun. They can accomplish anything, including selling $500 per hour.
Great tips. I'd invite you to share these videos with your parents. It's something that they're learning, they're preparing for as well. And their engagement in this means the scouts succeed, quite frankly. For your scouts, when they practice their pitch, loud and slow. I'm reminding my kids that all the time, but those are the 2 phrases, loud, slow. And that helps them a lot as they consider how to make their presentation and their pitch. I'm not going to go through each bullet point on these, but I really want you to take a look at these as the preparation is important. Make sure you have enough to sell $500 at least per hour. Your scout roles and ability to succeed in these areas. This is important. And this is just recapping these videos and then the parent role. So share this slide with your parents, share those last 2 videos. That'll help go a long way with your success. Okay, here's some pitches for your scouts to practice. This is another slide to share with your parents. Hi, my name is McKay, and I'm earning my way to summer camp. Can I count on your support? My favorite flavor is kettle corn, white cheddar, whatever it is. I always teach my boys to pick a higher one that they like, because if they say they like the white cheddar, guess what? They're more likely to enjoy the cheddar popcorn as a customer because your scout likes it. Now, make sure they're not lying. Make sure they actually enjoy it. But I do have my boys try out the popcorn before, and that white cheddar seems to win every time. My favorite flavor is white cheddar. If you don't have cash, don't worry. We prefer credit card. And that goes a long ways in upselling and helping customers feel comfortable. Also, never, ever, ever ask a customer to buy popcorn. They're supporting you, not the popcorn. The saddest thing is when a scout says, hi, would you like to buy popcorn? Oh man, we lost them. We lost the customer because they just say no right away, move on. So please stress this with your families. Make it a real important step in the scouts learning this.
Hi, Scouts. The reason I can sell $500 an hour at storefronts is because of my speech. It's short and direct. I introduce myself, explain what I'm raising money for, and ask for their support. My pitch sounds like this.
Hello, my name is Evan, and I'm earning my way to summer camp. Can I count on your support? If you don't have cash, don't worry. We take credit card. My favorite flavor is salted caramel.
You never, never, never ask customers to buy popcorn. It's to support you. Even if the customer says no, I always say,
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
now it's your turn to practice before your first shift.
Awesome. Okay, just reiterating what we've talked about. Great videos again to share. Okay, one more video here.
Customers might make excuses. Here's what I say when that happens. If they say,
That's expensive.
I would say over 70% stays local to help pay for my camping and adventures. You are making a donation and getting some delicious popcorn as a thank you. If they say,
I don't have cash.
I would say, that's okay. I prefer credit card, Apple Pay, Google Pay, and Cash App Pay. If they say,
I can't eat popcorn.
I would say you can still donate to Heroes and Helpers. It supports scouting, and the popcorn goes to the military and first responders. If they say,
I already bought from another scout.
for this one, I ask what they bought and then suggest another flavor. Always be polite, and maybe you can turn a no into a yes.
Hey, we talked about this at the beginning, but our scouts learning how to take skills and learn skills that will benefit them for life. Okay, let's take a look here at our credit card. Credit is best for the scouts. We've talked about this in several ways, but it is important and very true. It's safer financially for the unit, for the scout, for the parent, everyone. Easier and higher sales for the scouts. Your sales go up so much more when it's card versus cash. Trails In pays for all the card fees, so don't worry about that as a unit. Ways to accept credit card in the app: Square Bluetooth, so contactless card payment; Square Swipers, manual entry, so you can type it in, and then there's Apple Pay, Google Pay, Cash App options as well. So not Venmo yet, but a lot of great options that most of our buyers and customers will have. If you don't have a Square card reader, I would invite you as a unit to invest in one. They're not too much money, and it will enhance your sales. And make sure it's something that works for both Apple, Android, and other phone options as well. Most are pretty generic, but just double check before making a purchase. Also, for parents and leaders, the cash to credit option. Here's what we talked about earlier. Parents have up to 30 minutes after their sale to make that cash to credit option complete. If a parent misses that, leaders, you can go in and do that for the parent up until 2:59 a.m. Eastern time that night. So it's not the next day, but that night of. So, okay, do we have a question
Yeah, a
here?
couple questions. Will there still be a master list for storefront sales like we've done in the past?
No, I don't believe we're going to do that this year. If you'd like to know something specific to maybe where you're on units, we can help get information for you, but there's no plan to do a master list.
And then this one says, last year credit cards could be taken through the app without Square. Is that still working this year?
Yeah, in terms of punching in the card number, yes. But you'll need Square in order to do a tap or swipe option. Great questions. Thank you.
Hey, and McKay, can I jump in here real quick? Sorry,
Please.
you guys. I just want to make sure. So those that maybe, if you go back a screen, sorry. For those who have participated in the sale, you know that Google Pay, Apple Pay, and Cash App Pay, of course, being new, was an option if you had the Bluetooth Square reader. Okay, so you've got the Lightning reader, you've got the headphone jack reader, but you also had the Square Bluetooth reader that is still applicable, or you're still compatible, excuse me, with the app. So that Bluetooth was able to take Google Pay, Apple Pay, touch, tap to pay with credit cards, all that great stuff, right? Well, we're not all the way there with tap to pay, even though tap to pay is a feature within Square now. We're convincing Square to let us be one of their first ones, third-party group that they share that technology with. Hopefully in 2025, we're coming to you saying, hey, no more readers needed. You can tap to pay right on your phone inside our app to be able to take a credit card. Anyways, coming soon. But this year, you can now take Google Pay and Apple Pay and Cash App Pay without having the Square Bluetooth reader, okay? And how that works is basically when your scouts go to ring up their cell, they're going to say Google Pay or Apple Pay, and what's going to happen is they're going to have a QR code on their phone, and that consumer can now scan that QR code and now use their Apple Pay on their watch or their Google Pay or Cash App Pay. They'll be able to do that right there on their own device. The sale would then complete. At that point, the consumer can say, look, my sale's complete, hold up in the phone. The scout then hands the product and we're good to go. So not 100% the way we want it to be, but you can do Apple Pay, Google Pay, and Cash App Pay without the Square Bluetooth reader this year. So we're excited about that. Again, like McKay says, we're trying to make this, accept more payment types so that there's no reason that consumer can, no excuse that they can give as far as payment methods to our scouts. So anyway, hope that makes sense. We have been able to do Google Pay, Apple Pay, and Cash App, or Google Pay and Apple Pay with the Bluetooth. This year, you do not need a Bluetooth. The scout will be able to share the QR code, have the consumer complete it with their Google Pay, Apple Pay. Boom, we're golden. So there are some great videos. Again, McKay's referenced the training tab in the leader portal. There's a little 45-second video on how the new the Google Pay and Apple Pay, how that works. We also have videos about the cash to credit that you can watch. They're, again, 45, 50 seconds to walk you all through that. So definitely check out the training tab. And again, all those videos of Evan and his dad are available. Hopefully you're watching those saying, gosh, I got to get my families to watch all these videos. They're right there on the leader portal for you to use.
Awesome. Thanks, Jared. Looks like we have a question here. Jake, you want to take that?
Okay, is the parent cash to card option for 30 minutes after the sale or 30 minutes after the shift? I'll give that back to Jared.
I believe
Yes, it's after that. It's after that shift.
Okay.
So I'm a parent and I'm working with my scout and we sell, $1,000 in 2 hours. And I know you're saying like, what? But it's possible. We're seeing it. Anyways, let's say 200 or 300 of that is cash. At the end of that shift, 2-hour shift, the system's going to say, hey, you got $300 in cash here. Because remember, you ring up your cash sales in the system. And so the app knows how much cash you took. You'll then have the option to then say, yeah, I want to convert that 300 over to credit. You then charge the parent charges their own card, the $300. They'll keep the cash. The unit gets paid. Unit leaders now don't have to go collect that money from that family. And then those $300 that were taken as cash, which originally gave that scout 1 point, will be converted to 1.25 points as they use that cash to credit option.
And please note,
and then the leader part,
excuse me.
The leader part basically would be that at the end, let's say I have some parents that don't do that. At the end of the day, you as a leader would be able to look at all the shifts that were there. And for that store, we have a new closeout section, a new closeout process for you to close out a store for the day. Part of what you'll be prompted to say, hey, you got this much cash still left. Do you want to convert it to credit card? You can use your own credit card as a leader to catch anything else that parents didn't get. And as you do that, it'll turn those over to credit. Every scout that was part of those cash sales will now be converted as well to 1.25 points. So kind of a yes at the shift for the parent working the shift, and then a catch-all at the end of the day for the leader.
Yeah, Andrea, it is so easy. It's brilliant, right? Thanks, Jared, for clarifying those items and helping us walk through this. This is a first time for all of us. So keep your eyes open for these things, and we'll help each other as we go along. Just a reminder, this includes your Hero and Helper donations as well, right? That's going to be as part of that lump sum transaction. So it'll be for
typically that
for
cash
and Hero and Helpers.
Exactly. Typically, a lot of that cash is those donations that the scout brings up as a Heroes and Helpers donation. Don't forget that. I mean, we'll talk about that here in the products, but don't forget that consumer gives you $5, $7. We have a part number in the app for that. Yeah. The scout can go in and say $7 Heroes and Helpers donation, ring it up. They get the points. The scout gets the points. The unit gets the commission, it's just like they're selling a $7 bag of popcorn. So just making sure everybody understands how the Heroes and Helpers work.
Okay. Thanks, Jared. Okay, so let's take a look here. We have online sales, best practices. The best thing about online sales, that it's safe and easy. Your scout customizes their online portal essentially through the Trails End app. You can customize that page and you share it. There's more options as well. So this is a fun feature, especially as we go into the holiday season, Thanksgiving, Christmas. This is a great way for your customer to get different options, peanuts, chocolate covered pretzels, little things like that that are a little more unique and festive for that time of year. Online sales, Those items are shipped directly to the buyer, the customer, and is a great feature as there's a lot more, including the options we do have at our storefronts, but also more in addition to.
On the online sales as well, they can also do the heroes and helpers from there, right?
Yeah. Thanks, Jason. They absolutely can do heroes and helpers, and that's a great feature as well. As a lot of family and friends are happy to support. They may not want the popcorn, but here's a donation.
Right.
So great
One-
thing to remember. Here's
One
our
thing I'd
product
like
this
to
year.
McKay, can
Go.
I take just a second? So all you guys that are on right now, most of you I think have already signed up and committed to sell. The online side of things, you may have some families or somebody within your unit that's definitely hesitant to do the in-person sales. And I would heavily encourage them at least to take part in the online portion of this sale. Another thing is within my district up here in in the northern part of the state, in Cache Valley and Tremont area, we've got 10 units right now that have never sold popcorn before, but I've talked them into doing an online sale just to feel it out and see if it's something they want to do in the future. So we're excited for that potential there.
Great. Thanks, Jason. A lot of neat opportunities with the online option. And Jason's right. For scouts that maybe aren't quite comfortable or parents, this is a safe option for them in terms of that anxiety that might build up. Here's our products this year. Unbelievable butter, $25. It's a box of 12 bags. $25 for salted caramel, $25 for s'mores. S'mores was a huge hit last year and a very popular item. $20 for white cheddar popcorn, $15 for popping corn, and $15 for sweet and salty kettle. This has really been honed into the most popular products. And that's what's great about this is your scouts are truly receiving or selling the product that's most popular. There's been a lot of fun options in years past, but this will drive the most traffic and most success for your scouts in terms of flavors. And that's what's exciting. Now, here's another great feature. On the Trails In Leader portal, when you make your order, you simply calculate, I want to sell $15,000 or $10,000 once you've gone through your ideal year of scouting planning. You punch in that number and Trails In auto-populates based on the rate of sale for each item, how much you should order of each product or each item based on sales for that amount. So hopefully that makes sense, but it's a really easy, neat feature. You can go in and then edit the exact amounts if you want to make a couple changes. But really, if you stick to that format, your sales will likely happen in that regard. Okay.
Perfect. Oh, one more note here on the Heroes and Helpers donations. In the past, usually you may have seen McKay or I do some manual adjustments for you at the take order time frame where we put Heroes and Helpers donations in. And some people would even be like, what are you charging me for? These donations now will be processed nightly and they'll already reflect in your unit orders. It will also help on your inventory because in the past if you had like 2,000 Heroes and Helpers, it would minus out 2,000 of inventory. It would mess some things up. So that's all going away. Again, TrailSend does a great job of fixing issues that come up from people throughout the country giving feedback, and they attack it quickly, and we're seeing a lot of great changes just from year to year.
And so really, if you're confused of what does this mean, how does it affect me, just know it's going to be cleaner and less confusing. So that's the great part for you as a unit leader. Okay, we're going to breeze through our last few slides here. This is all on our council popcorn website. crossroadsofthewest.com/popcorn. So, or excuse me, .org.
Utah Scout.
Oh, thanks. Hello. UtahScouts.org/popcorn. Sorry, everyone. UtahScouts.org/popcorn. You'll see our dates. Some things to make note here. Friday, August 16th, just a couple weeks from now. First unit popcorn order is due. So please get that in. That'll be delivered Thursday, September 5th. So please, please, please get your units in. Talk to your unit committee now. Get parents involved, scouts, get a head count of who's selling. Make sure all those logistics are being done right now. You can go through the rest of the timeline there on your own, and we'll take questions at the end, but those are the 2 dates to make sure you know. Friday the 16th, get your order in. September 5th, popcorn delivery and distribution will take place.
And then real quick, we did try the second popcorn order. That seemed to work pretty well. We're doing that again. It will take an extra week to get back. So you want to make sure you've calculated enough to sell through that first week of October. Then you'll get more product that October 9th date, and then you'll have another month to sell.
And this is a great option because hopefully this isn't new to any of you. And if it is, here's your warning or understanding. You're only allowed that note you'll see there to keep to return up to 20% of your product ordered. So if you want to make your first order and see how it goes and then make a second order, you're welcome to do that. If you're a little hesitant or not quite sure how much popcorn to sell, that's a great way to do it as well. We encourage you though, there's a lot of units that have sold in the past. We can give you an idea of how much to order based on units similar to your size, if you're a first time selling unit or whatever your case might be. Commission, everyone starts at 33%. So of all the popcorn you sell, you get 33% of that. And then it increases based on the amount of popcorn sold. So if you get $5,000, 35% commission, $7,500, 37% commission, and then over $10,000, 39% commission. Online commission is a standard 30% commission. Okay.
Hey, McKay,
Yeah, please.
we got another quick question. Can we do a better job of explaining the heroes and helpers so they understand exactly how they participate in that?
Yeah, great question. So how this works is if you have an individual who says, I'm not interested in buying the popcorn, but here's a donation. So essentially that donation, you log it as a heroes and helper on the Trails End app. The Scout will do that. They log it on the app as a $10 donation. And essentially what will happen is 33% goes back to the Scout, right? That commission. And then 33% of that will be used for popcorn to go to heroes and helpers in our community. I might be missing some thoughts there. Maybe there's other specific questions. Anything else, Jake?
No, not for me.
And the great thing about it with heroes and helpers, it's a commission to the Scout, right? They benefit from it as if they're making a transaction, a sale of popcorn, but it's a donation being logged.
Yeah, I think the thing that maybe just for Stephen, I think you do not have to worry about, you can take care of the, if you don't have an organization that you want to deliver it to, that's okay. You just simply have the Scouts sell that heroes and helpers as if, anybody that's willing to make a donation, basically any donation somebody's willing to make goes into the system as a heroes and helpers. At the end of the sale, again, your Scouts are going to get points for those and go towards their gift cards. You as a unit are going to get the commission, just like they're selling popcorn. And if you don't have you don't have time for whatever, it's not a big deal. The council will handle those council and Trails End will handle those donations. So nothing on your shoulders as far as, do I got to reserve product for that, or I got to make the delivery. That can happen if you're interested, but it doesn't have to.
We'll do that for you by default, but if you'd like to do it, you can as a unit. Okay, and then pickup, it'll be at Wadman Corporation in Ogden for Davis County, Cache Valley, and Wyoming units, and then Orem office for Salt Lake County through St. George. That's where your delivery locations will be. So make note of that just so you are aware. For units that are far away from either of those locations, you'll coordinate with your district executive. Make sure you touch base with them in advance. If you're, hey, I can't make it down there, or whatever the case is. If you're in St. George, if you're in Wyoming, Cache Valley, whatever the case is, Central Utah, we'll coordinate that to ensure your product's delivered to you. And we want to make this easy for you. But for those that are close, we really could use your help and support in picking up and retrieving the product, as we won't be able to coordinate with everyone on getting that. So please just touch base with your DE. That's the best way to succeed at this. All right, some things to finalize and conclude here. Final steps here. Place the final order. Collect undelivered orders from Scouts. Okay, so we want to make sure we collect all those details. We'll go to popcorn orders on the leader portal, and the system will highlight the shortage. So meaning we want to ensure Scouts that maybe did door-to-door sales but didn't have product, we get that product delivered to the customer, right? And so this is that process. We'll submit rewards at the end of the campaign. Once the unit has paid their portion in full to the council, that's when your Scouts will receive the Amazon gift card, and that's through their app. It gives them a little Amazon code for their dollar value sold. and then request unit payout, go to account summary, the leader portal page, and your unit invoice will be on there. And Jake and I can help you get that as well. Anything else, Jake? There's just some minor logistics I want to make sure I
Right,
covered.
yeah, let me go back to that.
That's okay if not. I just want to
Yeah,
make sure.
no, we've had some in the past where, if you can't, do the payout through your bank or whatever, and if you need us to cut a check, we can do that. So
Yeah.
we'll work with you if that's what has to happen in your case.
Okay, great. And then support, Trails End support. There's a QR code there. There's an email address. They're quick to respond. They're quick to help. Talk to me and Jake as well if you have questions. But if it's something on the tech side, we might be able to walk you through on how to do things. But if you're having a glitch, please reach out to Trails End support. It's a great resource. Facebook group. Trails End has an awesome, robust Facebook group. A lot of leaders asking questions, learning how to do things. That's a great resource as well. And then here's the council. We're here to support you. I'm a volunteer in this role. I want to help you be successful in this. There's my contact information. Feel free to email, call, text. Several of you have reached out already, which I'm grateful for that. Jake Bangeter and Jason Eborn are awesome council staff. They're also here to help and support. And we want to make sure you're taken care of. And then our popcorn webpage. That's a great resource. Everything we talked about tonight is on that page. Also, we'll post this video on that page in our YouTube channel as well. We want to make sure you have access to these things. Okay, leaders, have an awesome sell. We're so excited for popcorn. Popcorn is the best time of year. Let's go make a difference in the lives of our scouts, and best of luck in your sales this year. Thanks all.